What is the purpose of life? It must be the life itself, the existing, being alive. Birth is the opposite of death. Dead is the opposite of being alive. Being dead is impossible, because dead is not being at all. It is dead. It is not. Is death evil then? Life is a cycle of births and deaths of individual living forms, and life itself can't die. Like birth, for life, death is vital. Death is good for life. And once we accept this, we have a clear reference point to understand that what is good and what is not, that what is evil. Blessed be God, who was, is, and will be. From our perspective, death seems evil. For many, thoughts of death feel wrong altogether, like life would be broken in its core. It feels that we are to do anything at all to avoid death. But all individuals of every species must inevitably break into parts they are made of, to make way for the next generations. Life could not work in any other way. Life is not static, it is alive. And by accepting this, we can truly realize our own purpose and in what there is meaning. And not only having children, but by all means ensuring their physical and mental fitness to produce good fruits. In the natural world, parents sacrifice themselves completely for the survival of the healthy youth, the next generation. They do not live for themselves, but always for the next. Thus, they exist in perfect fitness, in natural state, without blemish. Many species even do the unthinkable by consuming their own sick or otherwise weak newborn. Living forms have an innate programming to make sure their fully operational youth survives. It is the foundation of every species to keep on existing. But this doesn't feel right from our perspective. But still, it is right. It is for life, and life is good. So what is evil? We can say that actions that sustain life itself are good, and actions that endanger life itself are evil. This is true and right, regardless of how one feels about it. Naturally, we are to sustain the life of our kind. Thus, we are to remove evil. This generation is the sum of all past generations, the sum of their effort, but also their mistakes and their weaknesses. Everything multiplies, the good and the evil. We all were born into a world that our parents built, who themselves were born into a world their parents built, and this never changes. There is no escape. There is only going further away from good, or returning to good, like all other living. It is vital to understand that, if we wish to exist, we must ensure the survival of the fully natural, fit, and healthy youth indefinitely. We can with confidence say that that is good and right, and that everything else is ultimately evil. Evil because no matter how we feel about it, humankind lives under the very same laws, under the same conditions as every other kind. We don't have to consume our sick or otherwise weak newborn, but simply align ourselves with the natural world, the world that sustains all life, the world that cannot be broken, the world that needs no fixing, but is perfectly working, as it has been verily since the beginning of time. To accept the circle of life, the birth and death of self, is key to our survival and peaceful existence. Ultimately, there is nothing to be afraid of, and really nothing to fight about once we understand this. We all are made of flesh, and in flesh we live, generation after generation. This is eternal life, selfless and beautiful beyond compare. Blessed be God, who was, is, and will be. Not many feel like going to the field to till the ground, but everyone feel like eating some. But going to the field to till the ground is good, no matter how one feels about going there. Most feel that there must be some other way to get by, other than going to the field to work and sweat by hands and feet to only get bread. That we should seek something more meaningful to do, so we seek and we seek, but never find. We keep telling each other that we don't know the purpose of life, but after we eat the bread that came from the grains that our own hands planted and harvested and made into flour, we truly feel satisfied. The whole process was nothing but good, purpose and meaning. It was all to sustain life. On the contrary, many do feel like inventing new things, artificial and thus unnatural mechanisms, things that seem to make living easier, so we would have time to seek meaning, things that till the ground for us, so we can keep eating bread. For nearly all this feels right, and so we keep on ordering the new, while others keep on inventing. So much bread and so little sweat, it feels just right. The thought of going back to the field to till the ground by hand and feet seems wrong still. For most, it feels a waste of one's time. To not have electricity and everything that comes with it seems utterly wrong. The thought of having to face the natural world and its cycles seem impossible. Admittedly, the invented world can sustain a great multitude of individuals who would not otherwise survive. The thought of not having surgeries, pharmaceuticals and treatments feel wrong, like life itself would depend on it, almost illegal. We dream about curing all disease and dying, but all individuals still must die inevitably. Animals in the zoo are safe from predators, but seem not too happy about it. They suffer from mental illnesses and depression, something that is absent in the natural world. The invented world promises to make life endlessly better and longer, and everyone is free to invent their own purpose and meaning. But we must realize that the invented world is not alive and that its purpose is truly invented. It has no meaning. It is dead. It can't fit into the circle of life, to the cycle where all living forms appear from, and thus it can't, now or never, improve anything that is living. It can only improve itself. Instead of sustaining life by growing and by developing, the invented world is destined to eat up all that is alive. It can ultimately do nothing but weaken our kind, thus it is, in the true sense, all evil.